Hi there, and welcome to the weekly Astro weather starting on Monday, the 13th of November. So, after the manifesting giant of a day 1111 portal on Saturday, we start this week off with the transformative new moon in Scorpio. So, that's going to allow us to really go through and throw out things that are no longer serving us in order to make space for all of these beautiful manifestations we've come up with over the weekend, okay? And if you want any more information on that new moon, check out my other video. Very helpful for manifesting with this energy and really taking advantage of the transformative nature of it. So we also had two big energy shifts last week with Venus and Mercury both moving, Venus to Libra and Mercury into Sagittarius. So with those big movements, we'll start to feel this energy shift. And this week we are dealing with the Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius moon. So we may have quite a hard-working, independent vibe to it. We might be feeling a little bit lonely and a little bit like discipline is weighing very heavily on our shoulders. So let's get started with Monday, November 13th. So overnight aspects here, 12:37 a.m. The moon making an aspect, so still in Scorpio, with Neptune in Pisces. So this could be an annoying anxiety trigger because that Scorpio moon is really going to try and help us see through the fog of Neptune in Pisces. It might still be helping us see where we are holding on to obsessive energy from the issues that arose on Sunday night, okay? So then we get to midday. So we get a bit of a break there as we try and work through that energy. We get to midday and the moon will make a quintile aspect with a Pluto in Capricorn. So this is going to be a restless energy now because the moon in Scorpio, it wants some intensity and some passion and it wants some secrets to try and sort out these issues that came up for us. So Pluto being the Shadowlands and Capricorn bringing the discipline. This is about transformation because we are leading up to the new moon, okay? 12:16 p.m. we get a quincunx between the moon in Scorpio and Chiron in Aries. So this is going to be an annoying compromise that gets presented to you. And it is that Scorpio moon taking a deep look into the Chiron wound and really helping us see what we need to throw out in order to make this compromise, okay? At 12:41 p.m., we get a quintile aspect between the Scorpio moon and Lilith in Virgo. So Lilith is making some big moves this week with transformation as well. So this is going to be trying to understand the strength of understanding the fears and addictions we have that led us to being so critical, so oppressive toward ourselves and others, and really wanting a deep look at how we allow others to oppress us, okay? And where that's coming from. So looking at that Chiron wound with that Lilith wound all together at once. And then at 5:59 p.m., Mercury will make a square with Lilith. So Mercury in Sagittarius now being very direct, very fire-driven with its communication, very sure of itself, and looking to see all sides and quite happy looking for learning inside of things, okay? So this communication is going to come up against our understanding of how we put ourselves second or how we have treated others because of our critical nature. All right. So, quite a confrontational aspect, this square. This could be a communication coming up in a relationship situation as well. So, coming up that is really going to show us, that we've chosen to put ourselves second or that we are treating somebody not the right way because of our own critical natures, okay? So at 7:58 p.m., the moon in Scorpio making a semi-square aspect with Venus in Libra. So this is right before the new moon. And so this is going to be heavily related to the things that we need to be throwing out. So this is going to be looking at the give and take in the relationship. So this coming up against that issue that has potentially arose with that square to Lilith, all right? And this is going to try and help us see a way to look for beauty and balance inside of that relationship dynamic. And this will be the Scorpio moon looking at uncovering secrets and asking us to shed these old, outdated patterns in relationships. And it'll be really coming down heavily on whether or not compromises that need to be made to solve these problems are worth it for ourselves, for the other person, and for the entirety of that relationship, okay? Now at 8:27 p.m. we get the new moon in Scorpio, and it is in conjunction with the sun in Scorpio. So if you've checked out my other videos, you will know some of this information. This is the super-powered new moon in Scorpio because it is making a conjunction with the sun in Scorpio. And this is culminating 3 years that are ending the eclipse energy officially on paper. And this is going to create a new force, a new energy, and a new dynamic because this is the sun shining light on the moon. So our ego self shining light onto our non-negotiable emotional needs and desires. And it's going to help us throw out all of these things that are no longer serving us, that have presented themselves to us in our subconscious, but also in our conscious and material worlds. So the last Scorpio new moon that we had that was not an eclipse was November 4th, 2021. And that was closely conjuncting Mars in Scorpio and squaring Saturn in Aquarius. So both of these things together were about taking action in revolutionary ways. So, and taking that action on our deep, passionate goals in relation to our relational ways and how we transform within relationships and how we adapt to revolutionary and sudden change in our value systems because of that. So that was when we really saw hints of what we were about to transform during the eclipse cycle, which then started on October 24, 2022. So these cycles that we are closing out with this moon are energy that goes back to those dates. So please check out my other video if you want some more information on that. It's very helpful to know what we need to be letting go of, all right? So this new moon in Scorpio happening on at 8:29 p.m. Melbourne time. It's tightly conjuncting Mars and opposing Uranus in Taurus. Okay, so this brings an increased possibility of really experiencing that eclipse energy sort of event, that unexpected event, disruptive changes, and like really sudden breakthroughs that set things in motion that begin the process that's going to unfold for the rest of the month. Okay, so this is the last of the eclipse energy doing its work, and with Uranus in Taurus here, there's going to be some pushback from the world around us, and there's going to be some pushback from our outdated beliefs that we are being asked and supported to overcome. Okay, so then at 9:05 p.m. the new moon in Scorpio, that opposition with Uranus, is going to bring that eccentric energy, that push for change, and it's going to make us quite headstrong. So this is when those big and unexpected events in change could occur, and this could be with money, with business deals, and you know, those things are not supported under this rocky moon. New moon is the dark moon, so there's things in the shadows, all right? So we need to be using this energy to come up with ideas that will best serve us on a comfort level and on a subconscious level. So Scorpio is the 8th house energy here, and it is about how we transform within relationships. So this could very well be a very heated discussion with someone that leads to a stroke of brilliance, okay? Then 11:11 p.m., what a magical number for this to be happening. Mars in Scorpio is going to make a biquintile aspect with Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries, okay? So with this combined together, it's about taking passionate and intense action toward healing those wounds. So we have been seeing a lot of that heavy energy coming up over the last week, and now we will be supported to make these changes. And it is about taking that action to heal the wounds so that we can be seen for who we truly are, so that we can stand in our Aries I am energy. So this is really supporting the energy of that new moon in Scorpio, and it's going to really help us let go. So Monday is a huge letting go day, all right? 11:18 p.m., the moon making a biquintile aspect with Chiron now. So we've had Mars in Scorpio and now the moon in Scorpio coming in, all right? So this is that intense support for healing, all right? This is our deep emotional fears, addictions, and these things are coming up to help us understand why we fear being seen for who we truly are and where we hold ourselves back, all right? 11:18 p.m., we see the moon in Scorpio making a conjunction aspect with Mars in Scorpio. Again, very heavy on this Scorpio energy of transformation on Monday. So this is Mars bringing action to the emotional needs of the Scorpio moon, and it wants change. It's enacting change, and it's going to push you for the change. So this is that mindset of change that we need to no longer fear being seen for who we are. And this is the culmination of the last 3 years and being able to take action on those things, okay? Monday is a very heavy energy, but it is also very releasing. And if you can get anywhere near water, Scorpio is a water sign, you will find that very helpful. So if you are a Scorpio or a Taurus, you're going to feel this very heavily. So that is if you are Sun, Moon, Rising, Mars, Venus, Scorpio. Those signs, those placements in particular are going to have a very heavy effect with this moon, and Taurus as well being on the other end of the axis there, okay? So keep that in mind with your Monday. Try not to plan too many things and be around people that are accepting of change, okay? Then let's move on to Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. After this new moon, feeling new, probably feeling quite tired. So at 3:54 a.m., the moon makes a quincunx aspect, and that is with the North Node in Aries. So now that we have this new sense of self being activated in our psyche, we need to now start making changes and compromises in our goals and our plan toward the goal. So, towards this goal of our greatest abundance, divine path, and happiest moment in the future, okay? North Node, our North Node purpose. So these are things that could potentially come up in your dreams. It's like our sense of self gets activated, this new self, and we will start being able to access this in a dream space, in an imagination space. We will start seeing these ideas coming up, and we will start seeing these manifestations, if we have been working on them, show up in our dream space. As a little hint from the universe, I think that that is where we are heading, okay, as a reminder. So at 4:20 a.m., we get a really nice aspect with the moon in Scorpio making a trine with Neptune in Pisces. So this aspect really allows our non-negotiable deep emotional needs that are in our shadowland to activate the dream space, to help us imagine, to help us think outside the box that we have been contained in for the past 3 years. And that box being made out of our rules and values that we have just released with the Scorpio new moon. So this is going to help us see what we can have if we allowed ourselves to dream big, okay? So just be aware that sometimes the depths of these thoughts and the obsessive nature of Scorpio, we can really slip into delusion here. Neptune in Pisces makes it very easy to slip back into delusions that you don't want to leave. However, we do have the balance because also at 4:20 a.m., the sun is opposing Uranus. Okay, so this is the sun's going to shine light on everywhere that needs change, and Taurus is the material world. So in order to achieve the changes that we find in the dreamland, Taurus comes along here with this opposition to the sun and brings grounding to the dream space, okay? So then at 8:33 a.m., Venus makes an aspect with Uranus, so Venus in Libra, Uranus in Taurus. So this is where we can see these changes present themselves to us in relationships with others, but this might be a trigger of anxiety or stress around whether they're going to bring imbalance or balance to the issues inside of the relationship. So this energy is going to help us advocate for this new want, this new way of relating to people and how we interact with others, particularly with Venus around here and all of this Venus energy in love relationships, in our very close loving relationships. And Venus is going to help us see our worth inside of that, okay? So then the moon goes void at 10:03 a.m. until 1:22 p.m. So it is going void with a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn. And this is going to assist us with discipline in how we are going to uphold these changes in relationships that we have just changed from closing out these cycles, okay? So 1:22 p.m., that moon's going to move into Sagittarius, and this is letting off steam energy. So all of the emotional work that we've done over the past few days with this Scorpio energy being quite heavy, the new moon releasing cycles, this is adventure energy. This is excess. This is overdoing it because we are trying to let off steam. All right. So remembering adventurous is not recklessness. Okay. We want to be able to let off steam in an adventurous way, but we do not want to be reckless. Okay. So this moon cycle helps us see the bigger picture now that we've come out. We know where the changes need to happen. And so after being in the depths of self with that Scorpio moon, this is like a take charge, move forward energy on an adventurous path. So at 2:27 p.m., the moon's going to square Saturn in Pisces. So of course, this is the first thing the Sag moon wants to do. It wants to face off with Saturn, the taskmaster. So moon in Sagittarius wanting adventure here, and Saturn in Pisces wanting to be a little bit more strict with the value system. So this is going to be an imbalance of the feminine and masculine energies. Our emotional side and our taking action are going to bump heads. And this is going to be a new forward motion energy being blocked by that haze of Pisces and the rules of Saturn. So you may have had all of these adventurous thoughts, and now we're going to start to see maybe how they're not going to work. Maybe that we need to make changes to it because it is the reality versus the dream space, okay? At 2:46 p.m., the moon is making a biquintile with the north node. So this energy is just that check in with the future, okay? Check in with the destiny, check in with the strength of the value system that we now have, and make sure that we are using the right values, that we've thrown out the outdated values, that we are still moving towards the purpose that we are here for, okay? At 3:39 p.m., Chiron's going to come in here and make an aspect with that moon. So this is those values opening up. All right, so it's going to open up into that Chiron wound, the places that we have built our own emotional reactions around. And so because we are healing the idea of being heard and seen for who we are, this is going to create some anxiety triggers again because we are being asked to push past outdated beliefs. And with Sagittarius here, it will be much easier because Sagittarius is very comfortable moving forward towards the goal even though the end is not in sight. Okay, so this could be anxious energy, but it is going to be forward moving. At 8:20 p.m., Venus making a biquintile with Saturn. So this energy is going to help us let go of those outdated beliefs, okay? And it's going to have us looking at rule structures and our values that are no longer needed and that we have seen that no longer align with the way we want to build relationship connections. And we will be able to see balance here, and it will help us see both sides of the argument. So the me and the we, the I and the balance, okay? And it's going to really help us understand the strength that we have in looking at a rule structure from an emotionally balanced perspective, okay? And then, of course, Lilith is going to come in because that is our guilt, shames, and misunderstandings. So she's going to put her little hand up here when she's coming in to make a square with this moon in Sagittarius, because she's going to have a problem now about us giving and taking too much. Okay, so she's going to come in, she's going to look at how we criticize, how we judge people, how we repress things, okay? And then the Sag moon coming in, it wants to light a fire under these feelings, and it wants to ask her to see it in another way. Wants to ask her to not stop the forward movement, to keep moving forward, to be more adventurous with how she approaches these changes in order to heal this dark side, okay? So heavy day. Heavy day we've got there. Then on to Wednesday the 15th. Okay, at 1:03 a.m., there is a conjunction aspect between the moon and Mercury, both in Sagittarius. This is going to bring some direct communication between those, our emotional side and our communication. So our dreams might be very good for some clarity, okay? Very good for judging the correctness of the reality. And this energy will help us understand the giving and receiving from an information level. So we've been looking for balance in relationships over the last couple of days, and this is that balance in communication and that balance in finding the correct way in a relationship to move forward together, okay? 1:44 a.m., the moon making a sextile with Venus in Libra. So a nice aspect again in the dream space. Sag moon playing around with Venus in Libra, going to light a fire under our relationship space to head towards balance, head towards adventure. This is beauty, fun, and it's fire, air, pumping up that emotional space in our love spaces, okay? Very nice energy. 5:31 a.m., the moon quincunxing Jupiter in Taurus. So this is a compromise between Sag moon wanting to move fast and Jupiter in Taurus wanting us to slow down a little. So this is that excitement of thinking like, oh, I've let go of these things, Scorpio moon. I've got this new plan of moving forward. Everything is starting to become clear, starting to become balanced. I want to go as fast as I can, Sagittarius. Jupiter wants to expand, but he wants to do it a little bit slower. He's in Taurus. They want to make sure that the moving forward with the best intention of comfort and security are all working together. All right. 6:53 a.m., we see an aspect between the North Node and the Sagittarius moon, bringing a little bit of stress, okay, on that forward moving level, because we've probably had to slow down a little with the compromise this morning, and now this is someone that is potentially coming in, someone with authority telling you to slow down and just beware of getting too obsessive with this energy that you lose sight of the actual journey. You know, someone might annoy you so much that you lose sight of these cycles that you're working on changing and the goal in the end. So just be careful of that. At 8:12 a.m., we see the sun coming in to shine some light on that Chiron placement, and it's going to show us where we need to create order in so that we can continue healing. So, you know, we've had all of these thoughts, all of these emotions, and this is just really coming in to sort of help us put those things in a line, because Scorpio wants us to be ourselves. It wants a deep bond. And in this aspect, we are being empowered to have that deep bond with the understanding of who we are so that we can comfortably present that way. So 1:03 p.m. Next up, we have a semi-square between the moon in Sagittarius and Pluto in Capricorn. Someone's going to annoy you, okay? This is the frustration energy of someone with authority, with a money situation, with an investment situation, likely to be a business situation that would normally require discipline. And this is someone annoying you because this is Sagittarius energy and it wants to go for it. And Capricorn needs discipline so as not to trigger the fear or addiction that's in the shadowland, okay? So this can be quite an annoying aspect at lunchtime here. At 4:07 p.m. though, we do see, you know, Taurus coming in to ground us and show us what we need to let go of so that we can expand. Okay, now this is a biquintal aspect, so the moon in Sagittarius is going to struggle to understand the slowdown here, so it could get a little bit restless. It'd be a bit of a restless energy. You're going to be kind of wanting to jump forward, still in that Sagittarius, but Jupiter trying to slow you down, okay? So 10:42 p.m., moon makes a quintile aspect with Saturn now. So this is much better. This is where we will be able to start creating order and arrange these new value systems, all right? So the things that we have experienced in the imagination space, in that dream space, we'll really start being able to see which new values we can attach to these dreams, which new values are worth the energy and the change, or which need to just be thrown out, okay? Because remember, we don't have to throw out all of these old cycles, all of these old ways. If they are things that we can adapt, then we can adapt with them. They can also evolve with us, okay? So Sagittarius is that adventurer energy, so it's going to help us make decisions here about, you know, things that are sometimes foggy from the dream space. So this is a great aspect for being able to see things with a bit more clarity. At 11:48 p.m., Mercury making a sextile with Venus. So this is beautiful direct communication. And this is Venus wanting balance. So this energy, it is happening at midnight here, but it could be starting to roll in a little bit earlier or in the morning, in Thursday morning. And this is a creative energy. And this wants us to solve problems that are being now seen in this new value system, okay? And these things might be unveiled in a relationship dynamic, because a lot of these changes we'd make, especially with Venus around, are things that come up in the material world in relationship spaces here. So we may have some direct communication here in relation to balance, to how things can be creatively solved, all right? Thursday the 16th, we see some overnight aspects, 1:01 a.m., a nice quintile aspect. So this communication from earlier in the night now moves into a creative space for us, and we'll be able to organize and try out these new ideas within the reality of this new self reality that we've created, okay? 1:22 a.m., Sun making a semi-square with Venus. So coming up, showing up with our fears, our deepest desires, and reminding us of how we transform with relationships. Okay, so all of this energy in the dream space, it's going to create some really nice healing through our dream space. Okay, so anything that you wake up remembering, write it down. This is going to be the Sun in Scorpio, kind of asking that Venus in Libra for some give and take, and asking it where it can shed out old situations. Remembering that Libra is kind of an energy that often doesn't want conflict, but with the Sun in Scorpio lighting it up here, there will be a bit of a battle here, okay? So we might find that our dreams here are asking if the relationship dynamics that we have are worth the work of changing the values, okay? Are they worth the work? Do I need to change these things, or is this something that I just need to completely walk away from? At 2:52 a.m., there's an aspect that's going to be a compromise energy. It's going to bring some rebellion, and we may have some really amazing new ideas coming up in our dreams, all right? So Uranus energy comes in fast and leaves us fast. You need to remember that. So it does bring revolutionary ideas, but if we don't write them down, we are very at risk of losing them, okay? So this is an overnight dream space that is going to help us understand relationship dynamics, and it could come up with some really amazing ideas of how to move into the next level. Okay, 6:44 a.m. the Sun making a semi-sextile to the Moon, and this is that Sun in Scorpio just asking for some clarity from the emotional nature. Okay, what does this emotion have to do with me? How do I express myself here? Where am I putting my passion, and how will this adventure or change bring me into a deeper bond with myself or other? Okay. 7:52 a.m. we get a little bit of anxiety here, okay? So anxiety in moving forward, anxiety about expanding. And it will be making us anxious because as we try to push past this comfort needing Taurus who hates change, we are coming at it from an adventurous spirit of Sagittarius. So those two energies they don't really like each other, and that is where the anxiety is going to come from. So if you've got a bit of anxiety Thursday morning, that's where she's coming from, all right? 8:05 a.m. we see a semi-sextile with the Moon in Sagittarius and Mars in Scorpio. So this is quite a nice energy here. This is the Moon in Sagittarius with its adventurous nature, really trying to work together to push forward with our action taking from an intense and passionate space, all right? So 9:19 a.m. we see a trine, another beautiful aspect. So this is just a cooperative check-in with our North Node, okay? So this is finding untapped abilities in the way that we can move forward with directness. And because we are dealing with the Moon in Sagittarius, these untapped abilities are likely going to become coming from allowing your adventurous side to take the lead when we start using these new values, okay? Then we see the void moon, 9:57 a.m. until 6:41 p.m. So this is a long period of a void moon to be happening during the day, and it is happening with a square to Neptune in Pisces, all right? So don't make any big decisions during this moon. Don't go big shopping, and don't have definitive conversations in relationships, because with this square to Neptune in Pisces, void moon phases will make things a little bit foggy. Neptune in Pisces makes things a little bit foggy. So you're going to get lost in the haze of the dream energy here. Self-deception energy will be at its highest. The anxiety will be at its highest because it's the dream state refusing to agree with the truth seeker. Okay, and this is Sagittarius struggling to understand the wishful thinking without direction that Neptune in Pisces wants, okay? So this energy could very well be someone shutting down a dream, someone putting a stop to your forward movement, or someone really bringing a harsh reality to a plan that you haven't fully formed, okay? So under this void moon, we have a few aspects that are going to help this energy roll a little bit. So at 1:22 p.m., we see the Moon in Sag and Uranus in Taurus now trying to help us release the attachment to these ideas, to this dream idea that wasn't fully formed, releasing our attachment to it so we can understand the strength of both comfort and adventure and how they need to work together. Then we get 2:34, a quincunx between Mercury and Sag and Jupiter in Taurus. So this is it's going to still be a struggle with the concept of like why we need material security when we want adventure. Still those two energies bashing up against each other, one wanting comfort, one wanting adventure. At 3:33 p.m., this is when we're being forced into the discipline of an annoying look at this whole situation and really being forced to see how we need to keep an open mind about other people's adventurous natures and how some people do require more security before being able to move forward. So we're really being grounded down here that perhaps our dream is just for us, and that either we need to not take the opinions of others so harshly, or we need to understand that the person we're trying to do the adventure with might require some more security. So it's going to remind us very heavily that transformation requires discipline as well, and that we can't just throw all caution to the wind. Sagittarius wants that. Capricorn definitely does not. So then finally at 6:41 p.m. we will move out of this void moon phase, but the moon is going to go into Capricorn. All right, so he wants work and discipline, and most of the time he's happy to do that in solitude. All right, so you might feel very lonely but also not want to spend any time with people, and you might just want to disconnect in order to achieve the goal. And you might be very triggered and annoyed by people who do not have any discipline with a Capricorn moon. So at 6:48 p.m., we see Venus in Libra making a quincunx now with Jupiter in Taurus. So this is going to likely show up as a relationship connection, asking us to be flexible about moving forward or a plan or something along those lines. And it's going to be to do with comfort and abundance in that material world. So what sort of abundance do you need? What part of that is material? What part of that is balance? And what for each of you is comfort, okay? So this could be very annoying. It could be very hard to make a decision about which way to go, because these two energies, sometimes they can, Taurus being quite stubborn and Libra wanting balance. So Taurus sometimes can't understand the need for the balance that Libra needs, and vice versa. Libra often can't really get around that stubborn nature of Taurus. So if you're using this energy correctly, it's going to be nice, but it could be quite difficult if you are in particular one of those signs, okay? 7:48 p.m. though, we do have Saturn coming in with a sextile aspect to the Capricorn moon. So this is going to be moving the karmic smackdown, all right? These two energies working together, because this is problem-solving energy, and it's going to mix in with creativity, but it's still going to be disciplined, okay? Because this is that energy of hard work paying off, and that is what the karmic smackdown is about here, with Saturn now also moving direct, that your hard work is going to be paid off and karma is coming, good or bad, with the hard work you've done or with the work you've ignored, okay? Then happy Friday. We are Friday, November 17. Starting off with an early aspect of Lilith being around 3:16 a.m., making a trine aspect with the Capricorn moon. So this discipline moon coming in with our Lilith woundings, and it's going to help us combine that earthy nature of both of them to ground into the self-discipline we need for these daily habits to turn these woundings into power. So this is going to be likely a dream space, Lilith often showing up in a dream space, where you will start to see the small changes that you've made or that you need to make in your reality, okay? 3:36 a.m., bit of annoying communication there though, coming in, might be waking up a little bit anxious on Friday morning, because this could be someone has said something to you with a bit of a sharp tongue and it's stressed you out. And so now it's showing up because we are thinking about how it's going to negatively affect our future, because the North Node is involved here. Okay, 5:01 a.m. Friday morning, again, a bit more of annoying energy coming in. This time we've got Moon in Capricorn, Uranus in Taurus, and they're looking for a disciplined way to make changes. And, very stubborn, both of them. So the changes that they want to make, if those changes don't align, then, you're going to have a bit of a battle here trying to move forward. We do get some nice action taking energy at 5:38 p.m. with our North Node and the Mars in Scorpio. So it could be annoying again, because it's something that you're going to feel very passionate about. So this is that energy of like waking up on Friday morning and finding out there's something that you're very passionate about and needs some changes, and you need to find a way to unattach from the actual plan that you had and then shift a little, okay? So 9:47 a.m., we'll see a trine between the Moon in Capricorn, Jupiter in Taurus. So this is discipline and expansion working together now, which is really nice. So this will help us move through any stuck energy that's been holding us back about decision making. And we'll be able to see what work has to be done, and we'll have the luck on our side to do it. All right. So once we sort of get into that mid morning on Friday, we'll start being able to see some forward movement with the stuck energy we're feeling. At 10:58 a.m. though, we will get a semi square coming in, Sun in Scorpio, Moon in Capricorn, and this is just the Sun's going to come and shine some light on the situation in relation to give and take here, okay? In relation to what needs to be shed and what needs to be changed, and is it worth it? So this is that we've come through the stuck energy, and now we're really going to take a hard look at what's worth it here, what's worth these changes, what's worth conversations that need to be had. All right. And Sun in Scorpio, that's our ego based, but it's from the Shadowland, so it is going to be something coming up that could be quite deep. It could be something that we feel very passionate about. 11:16 a.m., another square here, and this is coming up the moon against Venus in Libra. So this could very much be a relationship connection, a relationship dynamic pushing up against discipline that's required. And this could be a work versus relationship situation, some sort of imbalance where there's something that you want to do that might be fun, might be beautiful, might be with a close relationship, but Moon in Capricorn is like stick with your goals, do the thing, disconnect from people. Like the Moon in Capricorn wants to pull you out of the relationship to achieve the goal, and Venus in Libra wants to push you into the relationship, and don't worry about that discipline. Okay, so this is likely someone coming in that wants to have fun, and there's a work-related matter that needs to happen, or vice versa. You're in a work-related matter, someone comes in that wants you to have fun. And it's going to help you really question that seriousness versus pleasure, that work-life balance. And Capricorn's going to be very stubborn here, very stubborn on the discipline and very okay with the confrontation. All right, Libra doesn't want the confrontation and will likely try and shy away. So just be aware of that fire energy that does come up sometimes behind that Libra energy. Aries being on the other side of Libra, you push on that Libra the wrong way, you will see the fire. Okay. And just with that stubbornness of Capricorn, this could be a very fiery aspect, could be a very stubborn aspect, and it could get quite bitter. That Libra energy does have a little bit of the vengeful vibes to it. So just be very careful with your tongue, particularly we've got Mercury in Sagittarius now, okay? 11:39 a.m., another square. So another aspect here where action's going to need to be taken on that relationship situation. And it's going to annoy you. All right. This aspect, very annoying. This is, something is going to ask you, is there an outworn situation? All right. That needs change. If this is a work related matter for you, if the houses that these are taking place in is work, this is that energy of like, I'm going to quit. I don't need this. All right. So you're having to be asking yourself, is it worth it to walk away? All right. Mars in Scorpio will want you to look at this from a deep and emotional space, but Capricorn is only going to want you to look at it from a discipline side. So this is that energy where work isn't emotionally fulfilling you, but you need the money. And anyone who is kind of on that place, you might find this being a very, very thin line between throwing your resignation at the boss, okay? 12:16 p.m. though, we're going to start seeing a little bit more of positive energy coming in. So maybe if you're unsure, don't make a decision right on the spot, okay? Because we do have a semi-sextile between the Moon in Capricorn and Mercury in Sagittarius at 12:16, which will be some direct communication here that'll help the Capricorn Moon understand the emotional side. Okay, then at 3:26 p.m., the Sun's going to come in and shine some light on how to compromise and how to best move forward with the issue. That's not saying you're still not going to throw the resignation on the desk, but it will help you know whether you're doing that from the right point of your self-authority, okay? At 5:14 p.m., we'll see a quintile coming in here with Neptune in Pisces. So this is going to be a restless energy because of this passive dream state of Pisces, but it really is going to help Capricorn understand the emotional nature of the situation that's come up, all right? Because Neptune wants us to change things, but in an imaginative way, all right? And it wants you to think outside the box, and Capricorn really struggles with that. All right. So if this is that idea, this is the energy of wanting to go and focus on your side business, and Capricorn really saying, no, you've got to do your 9 to 5. So if you're someone who's been struggling with that, this is that energy. It's going to exaggerate it on Friday for you. Okay. At 7:35 p.m., though, we do get a trine. So this is between Mars and Scorpio, Neptune and Pisces. So it's going to help you find a passionate way to move forward toward the dream faster. And these energies working together will really help you find some untapped abilities in the dream space and how to take action. At 9:51 p.m., there's a semi-square coming through here with Saturn in Pisces. This is going to give you the discipline you need to throw out outdated values to help you work out how to take action now towards these things that have come up, towards this issue that made you want to throw your resignation at the boss. All right, 10:40 p.m., we're going to get a square coming up because, of course, we are with Chiron. So whatever values you had to revisit through that whole situation, through wanting to know whether it's worth your time or not, they're going to now come up against your Chiron wound, which is our insecurities, remember? So whatever discipline has been required to continue to fight for your needs, to continue to be seen and heard for who you are, Capricorn moon's going to ask you to disconnect from your own needs and feelings in order to get the work done. But your Chiron in Aries is going to be fighting for you to stand up for yourself, okay? 11:20 p.m., we've got a semi-square with Venus in Libra and Mars in Scorpio. So this is a relationship give and take, all right? This is action needing to be taken. This is where do we need to make change, and is the upheaval worth it? What are the results? This is frustration energy. So this could be someone who threw their resignation at the boss and now they're having to go and tell their family about it, all right? So interesting day on Friday, and just be prepared for that roller coaster of energy, okay? And now we get to Saturday, November 18th. So let's do the dream space energy. 1:51 a.m. The sun trining Neptune in Pisces. Great energy. It's going to light some passion in your dream space. So the issues that you were dealing with that came up last night, you might now be able to find a new imaginative way to move forward. It's going to help you heal some of the fears that might have been presented within that argument space and really help light up your imagination and your spiritual nature and give your intuitive energy a little bit of a hit, okay? This is excellent dream space energy, excellent space for healing during the dreams. At 5:23 a.m., Lilith going to come in here and make an aspect with the Capricorn moon. This is definitely going to be an anxiety trigger. Capricorn, very disciplined, very unfeeling, very harsh. And it's going to try and make you push past obstacles in your thought patterns that have allowed this Lilith in Virgo wound. And it's going to be about how you show up for yourself, how you show up without projection of your repressed needs as judgment, okay? So very, very self-introspection energy on Saturday morning, okay? However, we do get a nice one then that's going to help us out, because at 6:51 a.m. we get a trine, moon in Capricorn, Uranus and Taurus. These energies work very happily together because this Capricorn moon is going to bring the discipline to a planned change. So great business energy, great doing work with your family, and it makes us really adaptable without losing our heads, all right? So anything that's come up with that Lilith anxiety, we're gonna be able to move forward with it, okay? 1:01 p.m. we're going to get a square here because, of course, the moon in Capricorn wants to look at some disciplined ways about have these changes affected my goals. So coming up against our north node here, there's going to be a conflict of interest. Your goals might have changed. Your ideas of what the future looks like could have changed. And this could also be, someone needs you to work on something that you think is unimportant. Okay, so there's a bit of fight energy coming up. Someone's going to come in on Saturday, want you to do something that you don't think is aligned with your purpose, that isn't aligned with your values, that doesn't fit your plan for the day. And it's going to be a bit of a fight over it, okay? 1:52 p.m. though, we get a bit of a nicer aspect after that fight, and this is going to help us see through that fight energy, okay? This is Neptune in Pisces, really kind of coming in and being like, hang on a minute, let's look at this through a bit more imagination, a bit more of that dream space, and let's stubborn Capricorn, let's just solve this problem instead of you being so hard about your own way. Let's see what else is out there, okay? 2:48 p.m, sun coming in now to shine lights on the needs of that Capricorn moon. Capricorn moon, not great at their emotional side, not great at tapping into it, okay? But the sun in Scorpio, very good at emotions. Going to add some more easy flow to this problem solving. So this thing that needs to get done, we're going to be able to see a way to problem solve that, okay? 2:51, again, some more great energy coming in, helping balance our feminine and masculine energies, our emotional natures, and how we take action. And we'll find a creative way. This is the energy of finding a creative way of working together. 4:41 p.m. the conjunction coming in here, Sun in Scorpio, Mars in Scorpio, absolutely stunning energy for a Saturday afternoon. This is going to give you a push to take action, okay? So just be aware though, Scorpio, can get highlighted to the point of being obsessive, to having ownership, and that sharp tongue, secretive nature might make you question the motives of the other person, but really try and focus on a new energy coming forward, on birthing together a new energy, okay? Because this creation energy is going to help us take action on all of these fears and all of these nightmare situations that have come up throughout the day, starting with that Lilith. And it's going to help us be in a connection with our intuitive natures very comfortably. And it's going to help us push forward if there were any uncomfortable spaces that we were fearing walking into with any of those changes, all right? 5:06 p.m. semi-square coming up because, of course, stubborn Capricorn wants some communication. It wants some give and take from this direct communication nature of Sagittarius. So this is going to be looking at outdated issues in that work situation or that dynamic that came up earlier, and in the value system, how it relates to your values. So this is potentially having a disagreement with authority because Sagittarius Mercury wants to have its say and it doesn't really care about the opinions of others. And that Capricorn is very traditional with its values of politeness, okay? So, you could end up in another slightly uncomfortable conversation. Then the moon's going to go void at 7:27 p.m. until 10:27 p.m. So take it easy Saturday night because it's going to go void with a conjunction to Pluto in Capricorn. This is quite deep energy, all right? So because they're going to be working together. So it's our non-negotiable emotional needs in the underworld with our darkest impulses, all right? And so those things working together can get quite heavy, but this energy is likely to reveal secrets, okay? And it's likely to cause some sort of awakening within us about where we need to have more discipline in our lives, okay? And it could show up in some places of not trusting yourself, not trusting these moves you're making, or not trusting others. But it's a very good energy for investing because it does have this overall vibe of trust and not trust. We do seem to be very focused on getting to the deep bottom of things, and it's very head energy. So emotions can be removed from looking at investments, and we can look at it from a more logical perspective. And Pluto in particular is in relation to the 8th house, which is long-term investing, and Capricorn being discipline and hard work. Those two energies do work very well together. Okay, at 8:56 p.m. So I say investing though, I'm going to go back for a second. Don't make any permanent decisions on investing until after 10:30 because the moon is void. Okay, so 8:56 p.m. we see a biquintile with Lilith. Now Lilith again likely showing up in dream space or void moon spaces because it is the dark side of our emotional land. And so with this one, Capricorn moon is going to bring some discipline energy on how we look at our judgmental natures, and it will help us see where we need to let go of things that need to be rearranged. So remembering everything is a cycle here. So we sort of, as you may be noticing as we go along with this astro weather, we have everything is a story. We have a confrontation. We have to look at ourselves through these different aspects. And then Lilith, we look at it through the wounds, and then we look at it through the future. Okay. So 10:27 p.m. moon's going into Aquarius. A great way to end the week. Okay. Because this is a more social space, okay, more progressive. This is living outside the box, being your wacky self. This is being sociable, being charitable, really seeing the social effects of our own personal movements. It's not really great for doing things that make you halt your progress, and really try and stay in spaces of people that are open to change, open to revolution, all right? Because this helping you see outside the box energy really will be helpful with all of these changes we've made with the Scorpio moon. So, we had that Scorpio moon, and then we come through the week with all of these ups and downs. And now we get to this point, we go into Aquarius, and we can see how those changes are benefiting us and everybody around us. So 11:38 p.m. we see the first aspect with that Aquarius moon, and it's a good one, okay? It's a semi-sextile with Saturn in Pisces. And Aquarius moon, it wants to be a little bit rebellious, okay? And Saturn in Pisces is just going to show up with some values that still need to be upheld. All right, so there could be a little bit of conflict here, a little bit of difficulty seeing things because Moon in Aquarius is like, hey, let's go and do this rebellious thing. And Saturn's like, yeah, let's definitely do it. And Pisces, I love the dreamland. However, let's maintain the value system, okay? And that's how we're ending out our Saturday night. So it's a good energy for going out Saturday night. It's a bit of a heavy energy during the day, so you may not feel like you want to go out, but by the time you get to Saturday night, we've got some nice Aquarius moon energy showing up, so it should end in a bit of a nicer space, all right? And then Sunday, November 19. So not many aspects there in the early morning. So 5:27 a.m. we have a quintile here with Moon in Aquarius and Chiron in Aries. So just really kind of looking at the social effects of our projection of these wounds and how we can just rebel against old patterns. We don't need to be stuck in them. So Aquarius, very good at revolutionary change. So when you're looking at a Chiron wound here about showing up as yourself, Aquarius really does light some energy up under it and say, you know, it's okay to be your weird self. It's okay for people not to like you. You just have to do it anyway. You can just rebel against those old thought patterns. So very nice energy Sunday morning to wake up with. We will, however, then need to take that energy and make a compromise here with the Lilith placement, all right? So really looking at, you know, how you can now use that energy of the rebelling against those wounds in order to see how your judgmental and oppressive nature affects the collective. So, and this again is that energy of how we can just rebel against that idea that we have held and attached ourselves to, okay? 12:26 p.m. we got a quintile coming in, Moon in Aquarius, Mars in Scorpio. A bit of restless energy because Scorpio wanting to take some intense action, and you know, Moon in Aquarius, it needs to kind of understand why it needs the intensity. Aquarius being an air sign, being fun, kind of revolutionary, let's just change it up. Mars in Scorpio likes to take intense and passionate action. So those two will have a bit of a restless kind of vibe, trying to figure out, you know, how they work together, okay? At 12:49 p.m., the moon is making a square aspect to Jupiter in Taurus. So let's have a fight here. Let's have a fight between wanting to rebel and being stubborn. So this is like Taurus wants to be lazy, and we are on Sunday here. So Taurus doesn't want to do anything. It wants to lie around. It wants to find comfort. It doesn't want to do the things. And Moon in Aquarius wants to have fun, wants to rebel, wants to be eccentric, wants to be wacky. So those two energies are going to have a fight here. This is potentially someone coming in to ruin your lazy Sunday. Or vice versa. This is somebody who you want to go on an adventure with and they want to have a lazy Sunday, all right? So just be aware of that if you have plans on a Sunday afternoon. So 12:53 p.m., the sun making a quintile here with the moon in Aquarius. So helping shine some light and create some order, all right? So moon in Aquarius maybe didn't get what it wanted during that square. And now Scorpio really kind of bit self-focused, bit intuitive. Aquarius still wanting to be a bit wacky, but noticing the social effects of its rebellion, noticing how it's affecting the other person. And those two things really kind of coming together and trying to work together, trying to now find a way forward with taking that passionate with it, taking that rebellion with it, but remembering that some people might still need a bit of a comfort, bit of a lazy day, all right? 3:28 p.m., semi-square coming in with the moon in Aquarius and Neptune in Pisces. So this is a bit of a fight energy because Aquarius is I know energy and Pisces is I believe energy. So, you know, this is not being able to see the whole story because we're both stuck in our mind. Aquarius being stuck in the energy of I know what's going on, and Pisces being stuck in the energy, but I believe this, all right? So just watch out for that energy. Potentially that could be the person that you wanted to have an adventure with or that you wanted to have a lazy Sunday with, and you are not going to be able to see the whole story, all right? We are still in Scorpio season, so there are going to be some secrets being still held back. At 3:59 p.m., though, we might see some of those secrets drawn out in a fight with a fiery tongue situation between, you know, give and take and about wanting discipline with this semi-square, Mercury in Sagittarius, Pluto in Capricorn. Mercury in Sagittarius is going to want to speak its mind here, so that could be the one trying to get the secrets out. Pluto in Capricorn being a little bit more disciplined with what they want to tell you. All right, 7:12 p.m., moon trining Venus. So moon in Aquarius, Venus in Libra, absolutely stunning energy, all right? These are both air signs. They both want to have fun. This is great adventurous energy, great for love, great for family hangs, great for balance, the energy of me and we, really both of them looking to have a really nice time, both of them really looking to build some pleasurable energy inside of a relationship dynamic and to do so in a bit of a rebellious fashion, in an out there kind of way, all right? Excellent energy Sunday night. We got a quintile aspect with the moon in Aquarius and the North Node in Aries. It could be a little bit restless here, just about our independence, okay? So really understanding the strength of the action-taking ability of Aries to get your independence, and Aries will needing to be understanding that we need to also be able to be changeable, okay? So Aries can be quite stubborn and wants what it wants to take action the way that it wants, and doesn't often have a plan, whereas Aquarius, very adaptable. So Aries isn't great with adaptability. So this could just be a little bit of a, you know, you've gone out, you're on a date, or you're with your fam, or you've got a plan going on, and then there's this kind of, oh, I don't want to change the plan. And that moon in Aquarius being like, come on, we can still achieve this future goal. We can still achieve this thing. We just got to like adapt the plan. All right. So still, it's great energy. It just might be a little bit uncomfortable for people that don't deal with change well. Okay. I'm looking at you, Taurus. I'm looking at you, Cancer. All right. 9:38 p.m. All right. Another great aspect. So Sunday, perfect. Sunday, beautiful night. A moon making a sextile aspect with Mercury and Sag. All right. Great communication. Right. So whatever issues come up here, whatever that tiny little bit of restless energy, that little bit of stress, trying to understand that we need to be changeable. Here we go. We're going to have a nice conversation about it. We're going to make some creative changes, some problem solving energy, some beautiful, beautiful energy. So if you're planning something Sunday night, remember that's up there with this sextile with Mercury and Sagittarius and the moon in Aquarius. Really good for short travel. Okay. So you want to go for a drive somewhere. Perfect energy for that. And just remembering that we need to be a little bit kind to people who aren't as changeable, because Aquarius energy really does enhance our ability to adapt. So if you're someone who can adapt and change very easily, we will find that much easier under an Aquarius moon. But people who are not great at adapting are still going to have a bit of a hard time with it, okay? So that's what I've got for you for the week. I have got some videos up about that Scorpio new moon. I'm going to be putting up a little bit more information about Mercury in Sagittarius and about Venus in Libra. So check that out on my YouTube channel. All very helpful information for getting through your week. And if you want a bit more of a subjective look at it, you want to know how these things are affecting you, how these movements are particularly going to be affecting you, you can book a birth chart analysis reading with me. We can either just do that where I send it to you in document form. We can do an astrological counseling session with it. There are a number of options to be able to get you on track with your own personal energy and how you can work with the energy of the week. There's also some information up there about anyone working with me on their Dark Moon Lilith transformation. So we have got the November video up, and the documentation will be up very soon on how we can do our self-questioning process for November. I hope you all had an excellent 11/11 portal, and happy Scorpio new moon. May the transformations roll in. I could not be more excited about an energy shift. So hit me up if you need some assistance. All of my details are on my website, and you can find me on the other socials. So until you see my face again, have an excellent week. And as always, stay weird.